I guess to kick things off, the first thing I should tell you is that I am not the founder. I'm not Vasu. He couldn't be here tonight, so he definitely says hi to everybody. But I will give the quick elevator pitch as to how this company started. I started about 8-9 months ago, and the company actually started about 5 years ago in like most startups do, a Penn dorm room. And Vasu played JV basketball for Penn. And he dreamt up of the idea of Krossover through his own personal experience. I'm not going to be LeBron James, I'm not going to be in the NBA, and I'm not going to be a huge superstar, and people are not going to just constantly break down all my film on YouTube, and I can go watch it anytime I want. He's just a JV player at Penn, so his film is caught on his parents' video camera or anywhere else. So what he wanted to build was ESPN for the 99% that won't be professional athletes. And that's where it all started. And it turned into and evolved as it does, and probably pivoted a million times. But now it's turned into essentially an outsourced video coordination service and game film hosting platform for all amateur sports. So the customers we provide, we actually have a customer in the house, St. Anthony's High School in New Jersey area. Really excited to have him here. So for them, after they play a game, they upload the raw film, untouched. They tell us who played in the game, the rosters, and then within 24 hours, we return to them a full, completely broken down and statted out game. And what the coaches can do, instead of spending all the time of getting to the point of understanding what actually happened in the game, they have to clip it out, they have to tag certain plays of what they did, understand where the possessions happened, and sort of create, they're like cutting a movie, like a 90-minute film for every game that they play. It just takes forever. So we take that burden on, and then when 24 hours after the game, the next day, they can go in, they have all the information, and they can start doing what they do best, and that's teaching. That's teaching the players what they need to do, and players very easily have access to that film to study and get better off the court. So that, in a nutshell, is really how this thing got started and where we're at today. So how in the hell do we break down film within 24 hours? So the company is very interesting. I like to think that we have a couple companies running within the company at large. And we have a awesome sales team. Some of them are here today, and these guys and girls actually have to call the coaches, demo them, and explain to them how this works, because, and Coach Murphy, don't be offended by this, but coaches aren't us. They're not tech savvy. So it's you have to explain to them clearly, no, you're not mailing us your DVD of your game, you're uploading it like you would to YouTube. Well, what's YouTube? Like, it gets that weird sometimes on the phone. So they have the tall task of explaining how this works, and just say, look, give us the film, we'll break it down, and this is how you look at your film after the fact. So that's sales. We have an operations department that's running a product and a service with users all on its own. These are the people, our marketplace that Amin runs. It's over, right now, it's over 2,000 contracted marketplace guys and girls we call indexers. And they are all over the world. Majority of them are college kids in the United States that are getting paid to break down game film for beer money. That's the primary user base. But Amin and his team are responsible for making sure all the games are broken down within 12 to 24 hours, and the stats are correct, and the coaches are happy, and even the indexers are happy that they're getting the games broken down and they're getting paid, and that system works. That's an internal tool that our engineering team built that has to be supported and upgraded and all these different things, and we haven't even gotten to our customers yet. This is just internal stuff that we have to do. And then we have an engineering team that has grown significantly and is amazing, because doing a product like most startups that doesn't exist in the world. It's extremely hands-on, has a huge human element to it, because of the athletes and the coaches and the parents are all, this is all time capsule film that they'll want for the rest of their lives, as well as strategic tool to make coaches better and get to the next level in their career, as well as we're paying out to thousands of indexers over the course of a year. So there's a lot involved with it when it comes down to exactly how that works. And I guess I'll address any questions if anybody has any at the end. So moving forward, hiring. We are hiring in every department. We're hiring in sales if you want to be a hustler. We're hiring mobile, front end, right, Jim? Or any aspect of the staff. We're hiring. So come talk to Jim afterward if you're interested in joining a growing startup on the technical side. The beautiful thing is that if you have a job right now and you're not doing anything on the weekend, we'd love you to come and break some games down. You can do that in your pajamas. Amin will talk to you about that. So you can literally look at this in a lot of different ways of being able to work with us. But it's interesting. I started in May, and when I came on, I think I was the 18th employee. I think the 18th employee, and we just crossed 50 employees. So tremendous growth in all aspects. There's not a day that I walk in and I'm like, who the hell is that guy? And I need to meet this person and go to lunch with him or her and understand what they are. So I'm using Krossover as my social life as well, and I think that's a very important part of startups itself, is that I'm hanging out. It's not 9 to 5. I'm hanging out with the team tonight, having a great time. And I was hanging out with them last night way too late. So I had a little rough morning and early afternoons. I'm getting a little bit older and I can't. Another story, anyway. So it's when you think about startup life and how Krossover plays into it, you are going to meet your friends that you have for the rest of your life. There's guys and girls that I'm working with that I will know for the rest of my life, even though I may not be there, because I want to start a company in my future, and so do the majority of them too. So it's a launch pad for learning what to do when you get to that next step in your career. And at the end of the day, it's sports. Everybody loves sports. I love sports. So the great thing about it is that it's a service that's important, but if we screw up, nobody dies. So that to me is the perfect thing that you can ask for. People love it. They swear by it. It's very passionate. But if we mess something up, nobody dies. So that to me is an important side of it. So last thing I want to leave you with before I open it up to questions is that the challenges or struggles that we have, and I think why it's very interesting to learn more about Krossover if you're interested in joining us and applying and just learning more about our company and what we struggle with, is when we go from 18 people, and this is my perspective right now, when we go from 18 people to almost 50 in the same cramped office space, we're dealing with a growing up issue. I used to be able to walk into the office just 3 months ago and pretty much scream anything I want because I'm yelling at my friends. Now there's people that I've only known a couple weeks, and we have to watch what we say. What does that mean? We don't have an HR department. Well, we have a bucket that says HR complaints, and people put complaints into the bucket, and it's just full of candy. Nobody's actually done anything. So it's very interesting to see how we grow up. Like I just did a rollout or a presentation of like, here is our expense policy. Like just boring crap that nobody wants to do, but like learning how to do that for when I start my own company is priceless. Of like how we scaled from 18 to just now over 50 of just how many people are relying on us to everybody to keep their job and keep growing and keep everything moving. So that to me has been a very interesting part of this transition as we've grown. And on the product side, we're just tackling a very interesting issue. I mean, we're receiving hundreds, if not thousands, of games per day. That is so much data. Our Amazon bill is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I look at the bill and I'm just like, man, I'm in the wrong business. Like Amazon, it's just like how much money we give them and how little we charge our users. So it's like how do we make the cost less but still deliver a better service? And how do we stream this film to every continent? And how do they have a good experience? And then how do we break down the game? And if the stats are wrong one night, or just all these things can go wrong. And it's just an interesting issue because when you grow to the level that we're at, we're dealing with it in magnitude. It's not one user, it's not two, it's thousands. And it's very exciting to see that growth happen. So that's all I have. I don't know where I'm at on time, but I would love to take any question or answers. And if it's something I can't answer, I've got one sliver of the company here that can answer. We even have a customer too. So I'm sure Coach Dan will be happy to ask any questions.